Oh, we're gonna use this. This is it.
You gotta restart it though. You're gonna say
no,
it again. I cut it.
Why?
I started in the middle.
Why did you stop it? Start it right now. Record now. Go.
We're recording.
Okay.
Hey guys, welcome back to Cups of Crazy. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Lee. Welcome back.
What is today? Because I thought it was Friday.
It's normally NCIS Tuesday, but NCIS isn't on right now, so...
Yeah, well, let me tell you something about NCIS Tuesday. It used to be Law and Order SVU Monday through Friday, and then all of a sudden USA wanted to start putting NCIS and Chicago PD Fire and mixing it up.
Don't hate
and
on my
I'd be
Chicago.
like,
don't hate.
I'm not, bro, but stuff.
Like, woo!
I know. But SVU and Chicago, they did like
they're hanging out.
Yeah, they met. A couple times. Yeah,
right.
And they're on like their 21st season, Law and Order.
Jesus.
SVU, they're the longest running one. Yeah, that's crazy.
Did you know?
Yeah.
Fact, Gabby Dawson from Chicago Fire actually left after the 6th season to go and produce some of the Law and Order SVU episodes. Did you know that?
Probably because she liked that staff better because they seemed awesome.
I don't know.
Is she the one she was in the show, right?
In Chicago Fire, yeah.
Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
like the
super
EMT. Pretty one?
Yeah.
And then, isn't she the one that was on like One Tree Hill or something?
No, that's Sophia
way
Bush.
Back
She's
in the
on
day.
Chicago PD.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I got all my Chicagos mixed up.
It's fine. I'll help you.
But maybe in like 2 or 3 weeks I'll know more about Chicago. Huh? So today is going to be the last installment of our self, I'm trying to change ourselves for the better. It's too much self. The thing about self, anything, like today we're going to do growth. But the thing about it is like you have to be consistent with it. And if anybody who has a mental disorder, again, I think we kind of touched on this before, like I have all these like, self-improvement or self-help books, but none of them are geared towards people who, have depression or BPD or multiple personality disorder or ADHD or anxiety. Like, you try to tell someone with ADHD and anxiety, make a to-do list and try to get that done today. Okay, let's see how that works. I'll have like pieces of like one thing done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard to follow through. That's, like you said, that's the biggest issue. Is you can have great intentions for the day and to work on yourself and to be positive and, spin a negative into a positive. And it's not always something you can do. It depends on the day. And as far as like follow through and being like scatterbrained, the only thing that works for me for work, not so much outside of work, but for work, I had to literally make pretty to-do cards in order for me to use them every day. And it worked, you know what I mean? It was something that I enjoyed. I would pick out like a different picture every day to do, they all had the same front, but like different backs. So that was how I started my day. I would sit down before looking at emails. I would write down the things for my calendar and, just kind of roll with it throughout the day. Because like you, if I get sidetracked on something, I forget about it. Like yesterday, I had a meeting. So I had to log in a little bit earlier. And it was like 1:30 in the afternoon. I was like, holy shit, I forgot to send in my team's timesheets. I was like, oh, they have to be in by noon. And they make that exception for me because I come in later. So I was like, holy shit, right away. I'm like, my team's not going to get paid. They're going to freak out. So, but that was one of those things, like something different, to start my day on a different routine. I got totally thrown off. And it was only a half hour earlier that I logged in, but it just set the tone.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying. Customer service, you got to have some thick skin.
When I seen that little notebook and I'm like, this is my to-do thing. And that's what it said. I was like, because all I can ever think about is that like that stupid Kardashian thing where they're like, where she's like filming them, like, you're doing great, sweetie. So, all right, well, some of the things in self-growth, like, we're not gonna, I mean, we basically already went over it. It's just, you know, it's ever evolving. It's always going to be a process, especially if you have a mental disorder or health issues. And not all mental illnesses are permanent. You know what I mean? Like, some people have PTSD can eventually be okay. For me, that's probably not going to happen, at least not for a long time, because it went untreated for decades. So my brain is wired a little bit different. But for someone who experiences maybe one traumatic thing, you know, they can move on and get on with it. If your anxiety or depression comes from that, you can eventually fix that. But there are people like us who have these disorders that are just, you know, never going to go away. So on top of just trying to be a human evolving, we're trying to evolve the way our brain functions and thinks, and
rewiring,
you know,
like almost
impossible. Right, like not it is, but apparently it is possible. So I don't know.
Yeah, work hard at it.
Follow. Yeah, and guess who doesn't have either one of those?
Yeah,
both of us. So oh, the box. Want to do it?
Yeah, sure. So we finally figured out the things that we're going to have in the box. We decided we're going to put some pictures up later. They're still in the works. We're pretty excited about it, though. We've done a lot of interesting research. I've I've gone and designed probably 30 boxes on 30 different websites, customizing and trying to figure out how we're going to do this. But at the same time, if we're being honest, we don't know, like, if people are actually going to want these boxes. So we're going to work really hard and put some together and kind of see how it goes. But we are super excited about it. The first one that we have is going to be a bit special, and it's going to be a raffle. So you can, you know, put down some money on it, and we'll pick a name or a number, however we choose to do it. And we're pretty excited because we, you know, got some good ideas. Might be a coffee mug in there. You know what I mean? Like different
and
stuff.
Something else that's really cute. It was really hard to go like look for stuff for this box because it was like, well, I want that.
It's like Christmas shopping. You're like, man, they got all the deals. I want that. Let me get one for me.
And like, even, I mean, we're gonna, like we talked about, like, even if this one doesn't do great, you know, we're still growing, but we will be exploding our social media with pictures of pieces of this box and the Cash App tag for Cups of Crazy. And it's only $1 to enter. You can enter as many times as you want. And it's just, you know, for $1, you could win this really cool box that's full of like a bunch of stuff and obviously worth way more than $1. The first box is going to be, you know, it'll be shipped to you in, you know, a regular little box. But like, as Lee said, like, as we grow, we're going to get the customized boxes because we can do these for sale as well. And remember, a portion of the proceeds do go to the National Alliance for Mental Health. Got to get that up on the website so people know. So, you know, even if it's $1 that you do and you don't get it, at least know that part of your dollar went to something that's going to continue to help people, and the rest of it will go to help us keep making these boxes because we want to keep, you know, trying to donate as much as we can, you know, while making our business happen. We got to get this happening.
Can we just talk about how I always buy mugs that are meant for someone left-handed?
Why do you do that?
I don't know. I don't think I knew it was a thing.
See what? Gratitude starts with Yep. Great ideas start with great coffee. Okay.
But like, how do I have probably like 10 mugs that are left-handed.
That's a good one for the third glass thing that I showed you. Remember? And I'm like, it should say something about science or something. That would be a good quote for that one, for that thing. Because we have special shaped glasses with things in them in the box.
Yes. What's in the box?
I can't wait. What's in the box? Oh my God. I didn't even, how have I not thought about that?
Right?
Yeah, so we'll definitely be overloading you guys with that. Just because we want to help, and whoever gets this, we kind of want to see how they like it. And I know that if I personally received this box and for $1, I'd be like, fuck yeah, this shit is awesome.
Score.
Or even if I bought it, like it's good things, like, to work on mental health, and then just some cute pick-me-ups, and it'll always, whatever box we do, we'll always try to make sure it's themed good. And I'm really into that. Like, I've already started talking about a Christmas box, because Christmas is my jam, and whoever gets that box gets to get a twinkle light on batteries already set up, so when you open it, it's who wouldn't want to receive that? I don't know about you, but I would. So yeah, so we're definitely excited about that. If we want to backtrack onto what we were talking about before, we're kind of all over this, because we're not gonna lie. Huh?
We're over self.
Yeah, we're over self, because we do, this is like the book that I've been following along to do. This is something that takes, like, it's a process, it takes months and months to do, and we've kind of covered a lot of it in just 2 weeks. So, we're ready to take a break, not from improving, because we always want to try to improve, but we want to talk about other things.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like the self-growth, self-esteem, self-worth, they all intertwine. Like, you need to have all the noodles put together like spaghetti, you know what I mean? Otherwise it doesn't work. So, I think the important thing that we wanted to kind of put out there is taking care of yourself. That's pretty much all that this is
self-love is like the big bubble, and then everything else kind of just drips into it, in or out, however you want to say it.
Right. So when we say we're over self, it's we don't mean it in that sense. We're just, a lot of it is the same information, the same type of things that you have to work on. But I think personally it's been a good series.
I liked it. Yeah, for sure.
I learned a lot, which is good.
Yeah, you did. And then who knows, like in a year we could go back and, redo some of these and see, how we've grown, or, what's changed, because that's, like I told Lee, and I'm sure I've said it, I've looked at notebooks for 5, 6, 7 years, and they all say the same exact thing, more or less. Like, I need to change this, I need to do this, I need to do that, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like next year, if I were to go back and write around the same time, I'd have better things to say now. Or even right now, I have better things to say.
Yeah.
Different, but better. Yeah. So, for sure. And then, open opinions for anybody who wants to. We're kind of going along. We do like the playlist thing that we could do, like, so for self-love, we have a playlist on YouTube that'll happen for that. And then, a lot of people want to hear about relationships. Yeah. Not sure if you're all aware, but they do. And that one is rough, because there's so many different kinds and topics. You can say, oh, toxic relationships or unhealthy relationships, but that breaks down into so many things, like narcissism, abuse, all the crap that goes into that. So there's just so many topics. So if there's anything in particular that someone wants to hear, please just let us know. And then I think we decided that for the Cups of Crazy After Dark, we would do that one live, right?
Yeah.
That way we won't save the video, but the podcast will be uploaded. So whoever wants to see it, that'll be your only chance, is the live one.
That'll be.
Oh, that means you can drink, and I could smoke a doobie.
Oh my God. No doobie smoking.
Why not? We'll talk about that at a later date.
Yeah. Let's bring it back. Self-growth. So the one thing that I actually liked when we were talking about this yesterday, that I thought was kind of interesting, and I have two sides of it, is when you create goals, never make them easy. And I think that's a great idea. And, you know, as far as like bigger goals, I agree with that. But also sometimes your day, you need to make small goals throughout the day to, you know what I mean, get you through. So it could go either way. But as far as goals in life, or, you know, in your career or in a relationship, you know what I mean? Some people will like, all right, I want to be married in 2 years. I want to have a kid after that. We need to get a house a year from now. You know what I mean? Like some people have very specific timelines where my goals are a little more, I wouldn't say loose. I'm not loose at all. But I would say they
well, I don't know, your garland comment yesterday.
Full circle. So yeah, I just feel like my goals are a bit different. They're, you know, as far as buying a house, it's not something I ever really wanted to do personally. And, you know, I am in a position now where I technically could.
Lucky.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I like the idea if my, you know, water tank goes, I call my landlord and he throws down the 600 and gets me a new one. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but mortgage is so cheap.
I know. And so that's kind of what I'm struggling with right now because
short term, long term.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. So something like that, that's never been a goal of mine, but now it's kind of a topic because you know, someone just bought my house, the people that live downstairs, and I'm a private person. And we were talking about this the other day. Like I had to do laundry, but they were having a little get together playing Frisbee outside. So every time like I go down, because I have to go outside to go in my basement. So I would have to go downstairs and they have to stop the game. And then they have their 3-year-old that jibba jabbas with me every time. So everyone's like watching. And I don't want to have to talk.
She texts me like, what do I do? I'm like, I don't know. I just always keep my head down and act like no one else is around me. And she's like, it doesn't work.
No, especially because the little boy, he's so freaking cute. And they are very nice.
Well, just kick
But
them
what
next
is my
time.
social obligation? Every time I go outside to go switch my load of laundry, do I have to say hi every time?
No, you just side smile. Like, so that way it lets them know you're trying to be polite, but please don't speak to me.
But yeah, so that's pretty much the main reason I'm debating on, you know, if I want to get a house in, you know, probably the next year if I was going to. Otherwise, at that point, I'm going to be too old to move boxes down the stairs and shit. I'm already crackling, popping every day.
Snap, crackle, pop. Who knew that cereal would be so relative these days? For goals, like you said, like they change, and someone can say, oh, I want to be married in this amount of time and and not know that they're going to break up like within 6 months, and none of that's even going to happen. You know, there's certain goals like, you know, any goal you make, you can't foresee what's going to happen or the obstacles, or what's that word that they were using that we liked? I'll find it. But
yeah, I was going to say too, like one of my biggest things as an adult, I think because of there we go, step back. I think because growing up, you know, my mom always depended on a man being there. You know what I mean? And so my goal has always been, you have to, not a goal, I think it might be a defense mechanism as well. But to always be able to like support myself and my kids if it was just us. So like if I bought a house with someone, I would make sure that I can afford the mortgage on my own. I could afford all the expenses on my own. And it's not like me being a dick and just being like, well, eventually this will happen. Even though I think like that, it's not to to cause a wedge. It's just my personal thinking. So
you're making sure that you're covered.
Exactly. You always have to, because like with her, it was like, when, this one left, it was like everything went to shit until she found all the douche. And so I don't want to be like that. You know what I mean? I want to make sure I'm handling my own. And, in a relationship, it should be 50-50. We both bring things to the table. We both pay the bills, and that's important too, because, I don't want to like mooch off of someone. And that's just me personally, because I've just seen, so many times throughout my life where everything went to shit because someone walked away. And it's like, you have to plan for that. Nothing is promised. So that's
it's
something
really not.
that I kind of do. And that's why I'm saying, like, within the next year, if I feel confident with that, I might actually look at buying a house.
Yeah.
Just because I'm so socially awkward, I can't handle it anymore. It gets worse as I get older.
I'm telling you, bro. Have you ever been to like an event at an elementary school? Oh my God.
Woo!
I am in the corner and I am 3 times on my anxiety meds. Otherwise, I can't go.
And you have a conversation, you're like, and then you think about it the rest of the night, because you're like, dude, they asked this simple question and you threw out the word popcorn. Like, what?
Right. Because it's like, I don't want to be talked to. Like, me just nodding my head should be an indication that I need you to step away from me. I'm watching my son get in trouble, if you don't mind. I'm trying to watch him do specifically what I told him not to. Like, for an example of like past goals, my goal was when I was engaged, was to be married. Like, ours is kind of the opposite. Like, my dad was like, barely there. Yeah. So I never watched my mom need to depend on a man. But because of that, I remember specifically like drawing like future pictures, like when I was younger, and I always had a man and 2 kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because we had, there was 2 kids with me and Malcolm. And then, there was never really a man around until I was older, which then I was like, fuck that.
Yeah, I get it now.
Right. Like, and I don't want this shit either. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so it's just like, and I thought like we were in the process trying to look for a house and saving money, and everything just, one day, boop, gone. And thankfully I was able to make it on my own for a little while, but then it was too much just by myself. And, so I had to come back here and, and now, and being furloughed and all, like, I couldn't have planned that. I planned on being out of here already. You know what I mean? Like, but it just being furloughed, then now I'm laid off, and it's just, you can't plan for these things.
Yeah. You got to look at it as, being thankful you had somewhere to go.
Oh, I am.
You know what I mean?
I am beyond grateful.
Was like in the detox, and I was like homeless for like I couldn't go back to our house. There was no house.
Right.
It got raided.
Right.
Like that. So luckily my brother stepped in and basically let me live with him for a while. But that was scary because I knew she was in detox. At the time, I don't know why at first I didn't call my brother. Probably because, we have a history where my mom calls when she needs something. So it was like I didn't want to call because I needed something, but then he was like, "Why didn't you call?"
It's a different situation. You're not a user. You're not an abuser. You're not a moocher. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's
same conversation we had this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you don't want to be looked at like pathetic or whatever. But in reality, most people are like, I've been there. It's fine. Right. And they don't even think like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, totally. For what happened this morning, because that's happened to me, but with other people. And I've never been like, oh, what a pathetic piece of shit. You know what I mean? No, I'm like, yeah, girl, I've been there. Here you go. You know what I mean? Like, couple months ago that was the situation. So
yeah, I think goals are
we need to
different
do
for everyone. It really just
they are
depends. I think it depends too a lot on how you're brought up, your environment, and nurture versus
stepping
nature and all
outside of
that.
what you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And that
That's
is a goal in itself, to choose to not follow the same path that everyone in your family has followed and jumped off the bridge, basically. So that in itself was a goal of mine when I was, like 14, 15. That's when it really hit me. Like, I don't want to be like any of these people. You know what I mean? So I'm proud of that goal. I did exactly what I said I was going to do. Did I crash and burn a few times? Yep. Did I step into a dumpster fire? Yep. But each time I've got myself out of it. And right now I'm in such a good place in my life that honestly, when I was younger, never would have
could
thought
never
I got
imagine.
there. Nope.
And I'm the opposite. I never would have imagined what I'm doing now is how I'd end up. And see, like, my mom was like, when we moved down here and everything, she got her temp job and then they hired on permanently. And she's been with the same company, and that stability and that security.
Right.
Like you have like, your 9 to 5 or,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Yeah. The office thing. And for most people, like my best friend Charlie, that's like her dream is to have that. But to me, that's a nightmare. That's not, and my ADHD plays a big part in that.
Right.
Like, yes, I do crave stability. So that is something that I want, but I know that I can get it in another way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I bartended and managed bars and restaurants for such a long time that, it was never a 9 to 5. It was always easy to like get days off when you needed them in the week. And, I'm used to that kind of thing, but, I'm not eager to like follow in the footsteps of my mom as far as like the type of job that she got, even though that's what I thought I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But really looking back for years and years and years, this has been what I wanted to do.
Right.
Like, this is me. And again, if you have ADHD, you understand, like, I can hold a job if I like it.
Right.
But there was one year where I think I had like 7 W-2s or something. Yeah, it was insane. But then like I kept on, like, as I started getting into management and stuff, like I would stay with the same job for a long time. But like, this is what I want to do, or something like this. You know what I mean? And helping people while trying to make money, but making people happy. Just something that serves like a bigger purpose for me. Like, that's how I feel. And so that's like my goal, is to be able to find stability and a job that I love, like where I don't have to really answer to anybody.
Right. And it doesn't feel like a job. That's the main goal of my life. I want to go to work every day, but feel like it's not work. And for the most part, I have that right now. You know what I mean? I love what I do as far as like coaching and training and, kind of being there for my team and that type of stuff. But, there's other big parts to it that I'm like, it can't be forever. I need a lot of this, but I need to figure out the things that I want to move out of.
Yeah.
So
yesterday,
like
didn't you
balancing.
text me? Yeah, you texted me yesterday, like, something about your factory. We got to start this. We need to make money. Like, we got to be done with this. We got to figure it out. And we, we're not being like, oh, we're so awesome. I mean, we're pretty awesome, but
we got a ways to go as far as
we do have a ways to go, but like, we really want to stick with this and make it grow, because if we can make this happen, it gives people with or without mental health issues or illnesses, a platform to speak up and say, okay, hey, they did it. Us being called brave, I think, was like, for a stranger to say that to us was probably the best compliment that we've received.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, you're so brave for sharing your stories and stuff. And I guess I didn't see it like that. I just thought, like, it's time to do this. Like, and, I literally texted her one day, like, I had my channel that I stopped doing. You do your blog. Why don't we do a podcast and see what happens? And it's not even like a question. Like, we have to make at least 2 a week. We haven't got a schedule down, but we know we need to record at least twice a week. We FaceTime every day, every other day for topics or ideas or things we thought about or, so this is my goal. Like, I want to keep this going. And, that's the only long-term goal that I have right now. But even though I love doing it, and it's not considered work, especially since it's not getting paid for it right now, it's not easy, but I love doing it. Like, I like trying to make the descriptions and the thumbnails and, making sure you guys are interested in what we're talking about. And, when she says, cut it, we have to edit that out. I say, no, we don't. And you left that part in last time. And I did. Because it makes us real. Like,
I know, but I'm also stupid facing. So I was like, I'm going to cut it. But then there were other parts where I was like, you know what? I got to cut like the loudness of it. It was tricky. So I was like, I don't want to cut that part out too, because it would have made it even shorter. So I was like, whatever. Right. And I laughed at myself because my genuine reaction to it was like, oh.
I know, and that's what I like. That's why I always tell her, like, don't edit those mess ups out unless it's something like extreme, like a 2-minute pause where we're just like, we can't figure out what we're doing or where we're going. I like keeping the mistakes in because, that's how we are. This is what happens. And to me, it's funny. And I know that when I watch like other things, bloopers are usually the favorite part that people like to watch. So that's what I was going to ask you. Do you save those 30-second clips that we do the testers before?
Yeah, usually they're all in there.
We need them. I think that would be hilarious.
Testies, 1, 2.
Yeah, because so basically every time before we record, we make sure that the sound is right and that we're on, the view that we're side by side instead of speaker. And, I usually say some pretty outlandish things for the testing part.
Obscenities, let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. But I feel like if we just put all those together, it'd be probably like a 5-minute clip, and that would probably be hilarious. So you got to send those over to me. That would be good. And then, I don't know, I just keep working on your goals every day.
Yeah, it's you know what I mean?
And sub goals to your big goals.
Yeah, you need steps to get to the big ones. So that's like what I meant. It's not always like, in interviews, we used to ask, what is your 5-year plan? And it always kind of made me cringe a little, only because if I was asked that, I wouldn't have anything to say. I live day by day. So I think it's important to have the little goals that get you to your bigger goal. Because let's be honest, there's only, I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and be a published author.
No.
There's steps that I would have to take. Is that something that I'm going to follow through with? Probably not, because it's personal writings. It's my own fantasy world.
You know what I thought about yesterday, though, for whatever reason? Because, I've read my list to you. Is that, I wanted to write a book, right? I'm like, me and Lee should write a book. And I feel like that would be hilarious.
That would.
I think it would be. Because if we did, I was thinking, in a views sense, your view of, these years, my view, and then, how we intertwine or something. Just, a different kind of book. I guess what we do on podcasts is more put together. And, for your big goals, my big goal, our big goal is this podcast being something, meaningful to people. And when you have a big goal, you have to work on it every single day. Even if it's just 10 minutes of something that goes towards it every day, 10 minutes. And eventually you will get there, because there's no way that you can't. If you're constantly working on it, you're going to get there eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, I jogged 1/4 mile without dying. So I promise you these things can happen.
But yeah, even, everything is pretty crazy right now. But yesterday, we FaceTime for a little bit, and I wrote out all the things that I wanted to talk about today, but also all the things like my to-dos, your to-dos, just to keep it in place. Because
you write my to-dos? You never sent me a list. Is this a test?
No. It was literally look for a box.
Which 25
Right.
for free.
Right.
Score me over talking at UPS.
Right.
Thank you, old man.
So yeah, and I think I ask you every single time, what number episode is this?
You do.
Because something like that, I just I feel like I've been right in episode 11 forever, but clearly I haven't. But
it's crazy. Oh, you can't even see it. Whatever, because I have the 11/11 right here.
Oh, that's good.
And you just kept saying 11, yeah. So.
So yeah, I have to write stuff down when it's important things that I have to get done, and I've been pretty good sticking to this one book as well.
Can you send it to me if it works?
No, the podcast, the one that we have similar.
Oh, yes.
Mine's from Moo, though.
Yeah, mine's from the dollar store.
Woo!
So. I mean, that's the thing. I was trying to organize notebooks yesterday and notes because I'm there's just too much, and I'm not buying another notebook because I don't need to. Fucking just start from scratch, right? Damn it, Lee, don't do that.
Hey, you told me to order stuff from Old Navy the other day when I really need you to talk me down.
Well, it's because it's called self-care. Okay. Sure. Yes. Well, that's all I got. Goals, just keep working on them, and we hope that we're helping somebody. And the next episodes, we'll probably talk more about relationships and different.
That's gonna be a good topic, whether it's intimate relationships, family relationships, friend relationships, we can do a lot on that because we both have a lot of experience with that. We don't have a lot of experience on self-love, growth, esteem, and all the others, but we do have a lot of experience with every type of relationship.
So in a year from now, we'll learn how to love and do all that and growth and whatever. And then, relationship stuff will already be over. Now we can talk about that fluently. We don't need any kind of book. But yeah, and, mental health plays such a big part in the partners you choose, why you choose to choose them. Is, that quote that people say, you get the love you feel you deserve,
being a wallflower.
Right, exactly. So, and childhood has a lot to do with who you pick as your partner. I almost repeated basically my mom's. I'm just 10 years ahead. So go with me. So yeah, so we'll definitely get into that because I know a lot of people I know for a fact that a lot of people want to hear about that one. So about different things about relationships, and we can always, again, intertwine mental health. And through bad relationships and good relationships is where you can learn about self-love and growth and esteem and, the bad sides and the good sides and how to, balance it to where it's always good eventually. That makes sense?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Whatever blows your hair back.
What? I've never heard that one.
I know. I heard it like a year or two ago. Instead of saying whatever makes you happy or whatever, it's whatever blows your hair back.
That's a new one.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I'll save that for the after dark. That was too sexual. All right. Okay. The joke. It was a joke.
Wait for it.
Hopefully Friday night or Saturday night.
Yeah.
We'll post it. We'll decide today, and then we'll post that this is when we'll be live, and who knows? Maybe we'll get 20 people. I'm counting on only 4, but if 15 or 20 people popped up, forget it.
Pass out on screen, and that would be the end of the live video.
Ma, I can't take the trash out. I'm not living like this anymore. I made it.
That's great. I hate my life. Honestly, I sweat so much when I laugh, so I'm glad we finally got that out.
I know I've heard you do it on the phone before, but never on camera. But that always makes it 100% funnier. Always. My friend does that, and when she does that, it just brings something out of me. Or not in, because I can't fucking breathe.
Cool.
Well, that's going to be the trailer.
We'll leave you with that. No, that is...
Yes, the hell it is. You know it is. I love when we laugh. Who doesn't love laughing? Right? Yeah, so on that note, yeah, you're right. We'll end it there. All right, Coffee Beans. Thank you so much. We're going to be over-posting, so be prepared for that on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter if Lee figures it out. And
I hate Twitter. I'm sorry. It's like a black hole of shit.
Right. If anybody knows how to help us with that, let us know. So, yeah. And on our website as well. So, thank you, Coffee Beans, and we are out.
Later.
Tempo.